flower friends, it's Nicole from Flower Hill Farm. I'm in upstate New York, Zone 4B, and I grow cut flowers. So this morning I had the amazing opportunity to have a video chat with Dr. Allan Armitage. He is one of the authors. He's the author of Specialty Cut Flowers, this book that I spoke about a couple of videos ago. And you guys literally ordered this by like dozens and dozens. So he was curious, okay, why all of a sudden, all at the same time, all within like 3 hours, these orders kept flooding into his inbox. And he found out several of you said that you had heard that it was available on his website through my video. And so, and I had just ordered the book from him, so he already had my contact information. So he reached out to me and said, hey, let's chat. So he found my stuff. We're following each other on YouTube and Instagram and all those fancy places, and yeah, we're excited to work together. So he and I spoke for almost an hour this morning. It was just a really great chat. He was just as personable and as knowledgeable as I expected him to be, and so just normal, like a normal, like me and you talking here. So he does have a YouTube channel. He has an Instagram. He has, I'm gonna talk about it later on, he has an app, guys. He has an app. You have Dr. A in your pocket. That's a fact. I'm gonna take some clips of our Zoom meeting this morning and share that with you guys. So I hope you enjoy my conversation on the Flower Hill Farm porch with Dr. A. Hi, flower friends. It is 7:24, and I'm gonna log in, and I'm about to have coffee with Dr. A.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well. I assume you're Nicole. You assume I'm Allan, so that's a cool thing. Anyway, how about you? And you're outside? I was going to go outside, but I couldn't find my laptop. So.
Well, I'm just on my porch, so it's not that far outside. I spend most of the time on the porch.
It's a good place to be, believe me.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
So tell me what you do. I mean, obviously you're running around cutting flowers, but how long have you been doing this?
I wear many hats, but I love them all. So I've been, this is my second year growing to sell flowers. I've been growing flowers my whole life, and it's been just taking off, and it's just awesome. And there's just such a community of people who love to do this, and it's growing, especially this year. I think just the events of the past 7 months have really turned people to the soil again, really to the earth.
I agree.
And they just want to do it. Plus, I mean, flowers are just awesome. They make everybody happy.
That's it's interesting. This whole COVID thing. I do a lot of writing, and I don't know if you know me from Adam's House Cat, but I do a lot of writing. I write a column every month. I write just for this people and those people, but obviously the whole book thing as well. But the whole Corona and COVID thing has opened up everybody's eyes, and mine in particular, to the fact that I use the term gardening loosely.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yes.
Plant, touching plants, smelling plants, selling plants, if you wish, or we are essential. You know, not in the same way that the hospital people are, or even the grocery store stock people are, but there have been more people going back to gardening, buying more cut flowers, buying more petunias than forever. And when this thing first started, we all thought this was going to be a disaster. I mean, I'm sure you did too. Oh my God, there goes the whole business. And I have written a whole lot of, I've written a bunch of stuff, and I put them on the YouTube channel, on my app, and all that stuff. But the fact is that this whole, you know, I use essential also loosely as well. But the fact is, if you ask anybody why they do what they do, ask, and this has actually been done, ask somebody who comes out of a garden center or who buys your flowers, or you, for example, and try to ask them in one word, which is very difficult, why they do what they do, why they buy a plant, why they go visit, and you know, the one word, there's actually 3 that have come out more times than often, but the number one, of course, is, and I know you would guess it, is therapy. For whatever that word, you know, is, I like doing it. It makes me feel better. You know, and so this has been quite a time that you know, it's really been quite a time that we find ourselves in, and let's hope the heck we can get out of it. But the fact is that we are somehow doing the best we can because we have a product that people love. And
I can't tell you how many people have, so I have an open porch on the weekends where I have buckets of blooms and people come and they make their own bouquets. And I can't tell you how many people come on this porch and thank me for doing this because it's bringing memories to them that they had forgotten about years ago. So many stories of grandmother's gardens, and just it evokes emotion from people. It really does.
Well, it's kind of cool. And again, I won't bore you with all my stories. We'll chat a bit, but I often, when I speak here and there, and I tell stories. It's essentially what I do. I hope I teach a few things too, but mostly I take it seriously enough to get you too riveted. But there's a story that I often tell, and this young man who you probably grow. I don't know if you grow regal lilies, but you grow lilies, I'm sure, and they're very fragrant. And so he's just he has his 5-year-old son with him, and he said, and the lilies were in flower. He said, "Son, would you please go over there and smell those flowers?" And I don't know. The son says, "Well, okay." Goes over and does it. Next day, the dad says the same thing. "Son, I know you're playing, but would you mind going over there and smell those flowers?" Boy looks at his father and says, "Okay," away he goes. Well, the third day this happens, and the father says, "Son, would you mind just going over and smelling the flowers?" Son gets up and goes over and says, "Dad," says, "this is the third time you've told me to do this. Why do you want me to smell these flowers?" He says, "Son," says, "one day, long after I am gone, you will come across these flowers somewhere and remind you of me. That is what we do." Isn't that amazing?
That's beautiful.
It makes you cry. I mean,
seriously, I brought a tissue because I know I get a little choked up.
I mean, I didn't, but and my wife does the same thing, and even I do, because the thing that we do is we cuss and we curse, and we got bugs, and we got diseases, and we got plants that die, and we got seeds that don't come up, and we got buckets with holes, and fertilizer with blue in it. But you every now and then you have to take a step back, and just taking a step back isn't a bad thing. Congratulations, by the way, because your reach and your touch is pretty good.
I just set a camera up and I just talk. I'm just myself, and I'm learning completely. Like I'm learning every day.
The fact that everything got canceled. I speak here, there, everywhere, but it's all canceled. Everything. In fact, I think I'm supposed to be in Russia today.
Really?
But yeah, whatever. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I can't go anywhere. Nobody can come to me. So they said, "Well, why don't you?" And this, I'm an old guy, right? So she said, "Why don't you do something on Facebook?" Well, I said, "Well, I don't even want to join Facebook, but none of my girls takes care of it if I need to." "Oh, I am." But she said, no, don't do Facebook Live. And I love doing this stuff. I love the camera. Not that I'm trying to get my face on it, but I have no problem with the camera, nor do you. Because you're just yourself, and that's why you are so successful doing what you're doing. When you speak, you're speaking because you really love what you do. But it's
compelled to do it. Yes. Yes.
So anyway, this is this, Nicole. So I have my own garden. So this is a residential garden. I don't know if you've seen any of this stuff. It's all
I've watched a few. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did this Facebook Live. It started, the first one I did way back in March. So I get up and I had up to 2,000 people. I go back to my comments, but I don't think I would have had nearly that number of people had people not been stuck inside, had they not been depressed with everything. And so the whole thing that you're doing, and that's not what I'm doing too. We do it because we enjoy it, and if people enjoy it, it's fun reading comments that say thank you. So we do it. But anyway, that's it. I thought, and again, if there's some things that you and I can do together, I can support you in any way.
Yeah, I've been very touched by the comments because people need something to distract them, and the garden is that distraction for so many people.
Yeah, we did a lot of cuts. Of course, all this cut flower stuff, it all came from the research we did back in.
Yeah, so tell me more about how this book happened. I know it was 27 years ago?
Pop-up video. Okay, I had to interrupt this because I just wanted to tell you guys what he's going to be talking about here, because we didn't, it's not clear in the way that I edited the video. So he's talking about the Association of Specialty Cut Flower Growers, something I'm sure most of you, if you're in the business, have heard of before. But this is the story of how he actually created that with the co-author of the Specialty Cut Flower book, Judy Loschman. So yeah, guys. Dr. Allan Armitage is the originator of the ASCFG. Okay, done with this pop-up video, back to the video.
The research that I was doing.
Yeah.
I did greenhouse research. I did a lot of research on perennials. I did a lot of breeding. I introduced some plants, yada, yada. But one of the things I did earlier on was I'd gone to Holland and ran around there for a while and noticed, we know how many cut flowers are grown in Holland.
Yeah.
Or Colombia, or whatever, but in Holland is where it all started, and well, actually, where much of it started anyway. And I noticed that they were growing what they called summer flowers, and they were growing them in the same area that they were growing their bulbs, because they're all bulb growers, tulips and hyacinths and all that stuff. And so they had some time in the summer where they had this land and they put in some cut flowers. Now the Dutch have a marvelous system of marketing where they can market it right there in their floral clocks. And I don't know if you've been over there and seen what they do for marketing.
No,
well, you must, and I'll tell you how to do this. But anyway, after the corona's over. But anyway, so I was there and I was talking with them, and they were beautiful. They were growing everything from delphiniums to Lisianthus to just stuff that I hardly ever saw over here, especially as a cut.
Yeah.
And so I came back and I said, okay, I think we'll do, I bet you there's people here in this country that would benefit from that. And so everybody, Nicole, told me this could not happen. First of all, I'd never get funding. Secondly, who cares? Well, who cares about cut flowers? Third, they're all coming from overseas. You'll never nobody will ever grow them because they can't compete. Yeah, I mean, it was just, well, especially the people who were, it didn't matter to me what they said. I was going to do it anyway. But so this was the stuff. So we started setting up some plots and this, that, and the other thing. And I had a technician at the time. Her name was Judy Loschman, and she's a co-author of this book. And so make a long story short, doing some research, publishing this, we put a little funny little Mimeo newsletter out. And it turned out there was all sorts of people doing this stuff. I mean, not even close to what you're doing, but just people that who've been doing it for years, but little bits and pieces. And they just came out of the woodwork. And so we said, again, I'm going way too much detail, but
No.
We decided, what the heck, let's have a meeting in Athens, Georgia. Let's call a meeting, anybody who does cut flowers. Let's get a few people we know are growing and get some speakers. I'll do my research. And I mean, again, I figured, 5 people would come. We got over 150 people in this meeting of people who grow or want to grow or just can't get any information. There's just no information out there, none. I had yields per square foot. I had number of flowers per stem. I had, how you do this and that and the other thing. Not that we knew we were doing, but that's what we did, and it was successful. So, I did some things on fertilizers and things on how many you put in per acre or per square foot. Anyway, so they came, and then, to make a long story short, a bunch of us got together. In fact, it was in Chicago. And we said, well, maybe we should put an association together to see, if anybody wants to actually do this. And that's where it started. And that was late 80s. And so that's why this association is still going. And associations all over the country have failed. But the reason this one is going is because, just like you said at the very beginning, it's a community. But that book has been a Bible for cut flower.
That's exactly what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling it. I couldn't see detailed information. It's blowing my mind. I feel like I would ask Google, tell me everything about every flower. And they would say, here you go. And hand me this book. $262.
I don't understand that.
It's like this gem that hangs out in front of everybody, and when people found out that it's elsewhere for less, they were
Well, I guess so.
What is your favorite flower to grow?
for me, it just happens to be what I'm looking at. If you go to the YouTube video, you can see all my favorites because those are the ones I'm talking about at the time. I mean, it's Cleome are everywhere here. I mean, they're just fabulous. But what do you do with the damn things? They reseed everywhere, but they are spectacular. And then I just did a video yesterday on obedient plant. Now that's a great cut flower.
I watched that.
It's a great cut flower, and it's got a great story why it's called obedient plant. And I showed that in the YouTube video and all that stuff. So I mean, it's not my favorite plant by any means, but it's a great plant. I mean, give me a good Gerber daisy any day. I love them. And I've got anyway, I got a ton of favorite flowers.
So tell me about your backyard gardens now. How big is it? How many plants do you have?
Residential lot. It's 60 by 100. Whatever. And I live in this lovely place of Athens, Georgia, which you just love. You just fall in love with. It's in the northern part of the state. So we have 4 seasons. We still have winter, and we don't get snow a lot like you do, but that's okay. But my garden right now is full of heliopsis. It's full of foxy just finished. The roses come and go. What is in flower right now? Of course, I got a bunch of annuals in flower right now. The vines. My trumpet vine, which attracts hummingbirds all over the place. All that kind of stuff is doing just great. And so it's different than where you are, different than where I was, but not much different. I mean, it's still the same kind of stuff. It just comes earlier for us than it does for you. Sometimes my garden looks fabulous in April and you're still under snow, but your garden looks fabulous in August where mine is struggling with the heat. So, it's just, and heat is just by far much more difficult than cold. So I've learned all these things doing all this north-south gardening thing.
Were you ever in the cut flower business at all, or it was just the research?
Well, it was mostly the research and then working with, I say, quote unquote, consulting, talking with people. And, I cut a lot of flowers, but I don't do what you do. And the big deal with evolution of cut flowers, it started with annuals. That was the evolution, at least in this country. We do a lot of. But I put a lot of perennials in because I just happen to like perennials. So that's why you've got data in that book on Coronation Gold, which is hard to find now, but still a fabulous cut flower. Where you've got a lot of information on perennials that just didn't exist back then. And then it started, the shrubs started coming in, the hydrangeas and the viburnums and things like that. You won't find a lot in that book, but there's quite a bit of information out there now on those. So yeah, we did our fair share, but you're right, it was mostly on the research side. Trying to get people excited, and it wasn't very difficult apparently.
No, absolutely.
We know in the cut flower business, it's all about value. If it gives you a big smile, that's not something you can just buy anywhere off the street. So
thank you so much for hanging out with me. I was so excited to connect.
So we can do great things together, kid.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye now.
Bye. Take care.
See you.
I just got off of the chat with Dr. A, and what a genuine person. I am so excited. He's just so knowledgeable and so fun and so down to earth. Reminds me of what I'm trying to do here, is just be real with you in the garden. And he has so many other things that I want to look into getting. And he was telling me, that the benefits of the Association for Cut Flower Growers, the ASCFG, ASCFG. I don't know what the acronym is. So, you could also buy his book through there. And I have good news for all of you international followers who are asking. Like, I got a bunch of questions that said, it says he won't ship to Australia, Ireland, etc., all these places. He said he would. So here's what you have to do. You have to email him and send him your address, and he will get the postage price for you and get back to you on the price. He said it's not cheap. He's shipped overseas before. He has shipped to Australia before, and he said it's something like $25, $30 for shipping. So that's going to be up to you guys. If you're willing to pay that price, he will ship it. So awesome. You just have to email him with your address. And guys, the benefit from ordering through him is he'll sign it for you. Like he writes whatever you want. He literally will email you and say, I'm going to personalize the book for you. I sign every one. Would you like me to add anything else? And he does it. And it's not an extra charge or anything like that. He just does it. So I'm so excited. And he has other books, and I'm going to get those, and I'm going to be checking those out. And I'm so excited. Oh, he said also, he's got that new perennial book out, but for the overseas shipping, if you wanted more than one book, your best bet is to get them at the same time, so you don't have to then again pay another shipping fee if, say, 3 months from now you decide you wanted to get another book. It would be a whole nother shipping fee on top. So Dr. A has a whole bunch of ways that you could connect with him. He has got a Facebook page. He goes live on Facebook. He'll do walkabouts in his gardens. Those are super popular. He's got an Instagram, and he has a YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel, guys, and I watched a whole bunch of his videos, and he just talks about flowers. He's walking around his yard, and he's talking about what's growing, and it's just so informal and informative, and it's just something that I'm looking forward to following. I subscribed. I clicked the notifications. I'm going to be following Dr. A, and I think we're going to work on some projects together in the future. So, hopefully someday we'll be able to travel again and all that stuff. So I am so excited, and he's a flower friend, guys. He's a flower friend. So, all right, I'm gonna go hang out with my family today. Thanks for watching. Whoopsies! In my haste and my excitement, I forgot to tell you about another tool that I learned about from talking with Dr. A. He has an app. He has his own app. And you can download it from the Play Store, iPhone, Android, whatever. It's really cool. It's Armitage's Great Garden Plants by Allan Armitage.
I call it gardening in your back pocket. This is back pocket horticulture. And if you go to one of those, there's also a whole section on handling of cut flowers.
And then it's got a menu. And then you go down, you say plants. And then keep scrolling out. He's got house plants. He's got drought tolerant plants, weird and wonderful plants. I love the way he labels things. And then cut flowers. And then he's got a list alphabetically of cut flowers on this app. Let's go to an aster. It's got the hardiness zone, the light requirements, the height of the plant, where you can buy it, if it's a deer-resistant plant or not, rabbit-resistant plant. He's got all of the colors when you plant it or when it blooms. And then he goes to say why he likes each plant, why he uses them, why he would use them for a cut flower. And then he also has some tips and hints for success. And then he has his top choices of every variety of flower of what he would grow for cut flowers. And then scroll down, references, and then some just more information. Like each plant is loaded with information. For instance, let me just go down, I'm curious. I'm just looking at the dahlia one. And scrolling, it's just got a ton of information. So if you guys are looking for something, you can literally have Dr. A in your back pocket by having this app. And that's amazing. It's not free. You have to pay for it. It's $4.95 in the App Store, and I bought it yesterday. And I've been browsing it. He's also got cut flowers right here, and then for shade or for sun. So like it is like Dr. A in your pocket. It's really cool. So anyway, I already had gone inside because it's my lazy day. I told you that. So I put my hair up, put my hoodie on, sitting on the couch with the puppies, and I'm like, I forgot to mention the app. So I had to pop back on here and let you guys know that. So, all right, now I'm really going. See you later.
Our world's greatest philosopher, of course. And our world's greatest philosopher was a fellow, if you follow baseball, was a baseball player by the name of Yogi Berra.
Yeah.
And Yogi Berra said that when the path forks, take it. And that's how you got to where you are. That's how I got to where I am. That's how we all got to where we are.